It's a nice day outside. Somebody is likely to die tonight. Something we used to say on the south side of Chicago anytime there was a warm weather night. Fact is, good weather tends to promote bad behavior. Hot summer night, the crime, the murder rate usually goes up. And in ride sharing, we're not excluded from that. Fact is, whether you're driving for Uber or Lyft, the freaks come out when the weather is warm. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim with another ride-sharing video. This one is not good, folks. We often talk about you should have your defensive tools on you with every passenger on every trip, every single damn time. Mace, pepper spray, something to slice or poke with, up to and including a firearm if you're comfortable. Unfortunately, there are some times where even the most well-armed citizen, the most well-armed rideshare driver is in a situation where there is nothing they can do to save their own life.
Body camera video shows deputies in Racine County arresting the suspect in a carjacking and attempted homicide in Madison. Police say the suspect stabbed an Uber driver in the parking lot of a Target, then took the car. Now, this happened last night in the parking lot of the Eastside Target on Lean Road. We're told the suspect and victim did not know each other before the attack. Rachel Perry has been looking into this and talked with investigators on the case.
She has you covered on the latest in the investigation and how the victim is doing now.
Behind me near the front doors of this Target on Madison's east side, Madison police tell me Monday night shoppers walked out to find a man bleeding heavily, begging for help. That's after we're told the Uber driver was attacked by his passenger and left for dead. Madison police say they were called here to the Target parking lot at about 8:40 p.m. Shoppers stopped to help a man after finding him bleeding heavily near the front door. Madison police got here and say the 52-year-old had multiple stab wounds to his torso. He was eventually rushed to the hospital where he had to have surgery for his injuries, but we're told he's in stable condition. Madison police soon learned the victim was an Uber driver and had picked up the suspect just down the road from here. Investigators tell me when the car was almost at a stop, the suspect began stabbing the victim before taking off in his car.
A Racine County deputy observed our vehicle that was taken from the victim. He tried to initiate a stop. The vehicle pulled over momentarily, but then he took off and there was a pursuit. Probably went on for about 5 to 10 minutes in Racine County, where eventually deputies deployed spikes successfully.
22-year-old Antonio Rogers was arrested and is now facing tentative charges of first-degree attempted homicide, along with several others in both Dane and Racine County. Madison police tell me Rogers has no clear connections to the Madison area, so they're still trying to figure out why he was here. Reporting on Madison's east side, Rachel Perry, 27 News.
Multiple stab wounds to the torso. Fortunately, this individual, this driver, sounds like he's in stable condition. Nevertheless, the authorities did charge the 22-year-old, if I'm correct, the 22-year-old passenger with attempted murder and carjacking. Just started stabbing the driver in the torso for no reason at all. Multiple stab wounds to the chest. So they're not talking about he was getting stabbed in the leg or stabbed in the shoulder or stabbed in the arm. This passenger was trying to kill this driver. There's no denying that. Multiple stab wounds to the torso of a 52-year-old Uber driver. This is not uncommon, folks. We want to bring this to you, not necessarily to sensationalize violence, but to keep our ear to the ground for new prospective drivers, to let them know this shit is not as rosy or lucrative as Uber and Lyft often portrays to new prospective drivers. There's a lot of danger in ride sharing as a side hustle. If you follow this channel, you know we're talking about this all the time. Now, this happened in southeastern Wisconsin. I'm also a former resident of Milwaukee. This sounds like this happened a little bit south of there in Racine, between Racine and Madison, Wisconsin. So it's kind of happening in both locations. Looks like they pulled the driver over and stopped him using spike strips. So he was trying to get away in Racine County, but Dane County, where Madison is, it's where this driver almost met an undesirable ending. Well, he did meet an undesirable ending, but almost lost his life. Here's some of the things we do want to talk about. We will get around the defensive tools, but because of how this happened, I don't know if this driver could have really done anything. It just sounds like the passenger started stabbing away for no reason at all. We'll talk about red flags, though. Sometimes there are signals, precursors, red flags to tell you you might be about to become a victim of an attack. So we will talk about that. But one thing we also want to discuss, when drivers are fighting for legislation in terms of transparency, better wages and fair, things like that, cost for awful outcomes need to be tossed in at some type of insurance in terms of health. When drivers meet these endings, we cover a lot of drivers being victimized violently. Murders, rapes, in this case, a serious stabbing or an attempted murder. You realize the surgery cost that this driver is going to incur? Most likely all of that's going to be on that driver. I mean, he may need multiple surgeries after being stabbed in the chest several times, rehab, you name it. Who knows how bad his body was harmed by being stabbed in the chest so many damn times. But he's going to incur a hell of a lot of costs. Now, understand, as contractors, for folks who are looking to get into this, any of my veteran drivers can tell you, we don't get any type of healthcare insurance. So most full-time rideshare drivers, being 1099 contractors, don't have health insurance. And if you do have health insurance from another avenue, you could face some pushback because you're involved in a dangerous profession. Understand, if you don't have specific vehicle insurance and you get in a car accident, your insurance won't cover you because ride sharing increases the likelihood of you having a car accident. Well, unfortunately, it increases the likelihood of you having a violent encounter as well. This driver is going to be on the hook for thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. Now, this is where Uber and Lyft should be required, if it happens in the process of you doing your damn job, to offer some type of coverage. They don't do shit. No, they don't even do as much as send you a damn card or flowers at your funeral. If something happens to you while you're doing this, you are 100% on your own, and this driver is certainly going to find that out. Loss of income, all of that is going to be bestowed upon this very, very unfortunate driver. But last but not least, let's take into consideration that red flags, precursors to an attack, are real in this business. If you're having folks make odd changes to your trip, pay attention to that. Pay attention to when drivers are on the phone, maybe making phone calls, what they may be saying. You need to pay attention to where you're being dropped off at, because we talked about potentially being dropped off at remote locations, things like that, where they plan on putting your ass in a river. You're sitting there wondering, why am I being dropped off at a river at night? So there's a bunch of these things you need to pay attention to. Folks getting in your car, looking all around, maybe being argumentative, maybe sounding like they're a crazy patient, talking out of the side of their damn head. You don't understand what they're talking about. All of these things. If you start encountering them and you have defensive tools on you, this is the time to get them at the ready. This is the time to be prepared for, you never know what may happen. We've had drivers suddenly finding themselves being choked out because a passenger grabbed the damn seatbelt and was trying to kill him. We've had passengers start talking strange and then suddenly starts beating the hell out of the driver. All of this is real. All of this stuff happens. So be prepared to look or listen and focus on red flags. Don't just simply be driving. Focus on what the hell that guy behind you is doing, because it could become you that is doing if you don't pay attention. Nevertheless, another bad outcome with the onslaught of late spring, summer, good weather. Expect more to come. I wish I had better news for you. Nevertheless, feel free to subscribe to the channel as always. Smash that like button. See you in the next video. Hope it's better.